All right, guys. So today I'm in a coffee shop today. I know what's the chance of finding me in a coffee shop more so than a cigar bar. But what happened was I was leaving the grocery store because I went shopping to grab a few things because you guys know that they're planning for a hurricane to come through here in the next couple of days. So what I decided to do was just go by the grocery store, pick up a few things, and also on my way back, stop at this coffee shop. I heard they had good cheesecake, and again, I shouldn't be eating all this sweet stuff because I know I'm trying to watch my sugar intake, but obviously I could cheat every now and then. So yeah, man, they got this hurricane supposed to be coming, I think it's Burley or something like that, and from what I've seen, it's not going to hit direct based on the projected path. It's going to go down the southern part of Santo Domingo or Dominican Republic, the southernmost tip, but they're expecting to get like rain showers and some winds and things like that. And you know what happens when people hear these hurricanes, when they hear about hurricanes coming, the first thing they do is they start running to the grocery store, buying up everything. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as people may think it is. But, you know, you want to be safe than sorry. And I know people ask, too, sometimes about hurricanes here in Dominican Republic and if it's safe when hurricanes come through. And I'll tell you like this, I feel safer in Dominican Republic than I do Alabama because of how the structures in Alabama are built. Well, I would say southern Alabama and Mobile, where the hurricanes typically hit around that Mobile, Pensacola, Biloxi area, because of how, like I said, how the structure of the houses. Houses are mostly, frame houses, where here, and even in Florida, a lot of the houses are built from concrete. So, but even in Florida, there's a lot of possibility for a lot of damage, and I've seen that living in Florida. Now, here, if you live in like a house with a tin roof, of course, yeah, you're gonna get the business. But most of the time, since I've been here, I wouldn't say we ever got hit by hurricanes, but we had strong winds here in Santo Domingo. Most of the time, the hurricanes go through the north coast, and it kind of, hits that area. But this is the first one that I've seen that's actually going to hit the southern part of the island. So, but anyway, what I want to talk to you guys about today is there is a difference between visiting DR and actually living here in Dominican Republic. And why I want to talk about this is because I don't think people really understand there's a big difference between living and visiting in DR. And a lot of people can get it confused both ways, good and bad. And most of the time when I'm watching YouTube and I see videos about Dominican Republic, one thing that I see and I know is it's a lot of foreigners giving their opinion about Dominican Republic, which is not a bad thing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's their experience. Who am I to say what somebody's experience is? But what I do notice is that some of the times, if not many of the times, that experience is actually, I wouldn't say inaccurate, but it's not all the way true, because you may get somebody that comes here and they experience the resorts and beaches and all the adventurous things, and they be like, oh man, I want to come and live here. And at the end of the day, when you come live here, your day-to-day life, chances are it's not going to be an all-inclusive vacation. So when people come here thinking that their lifestyle is going to be like an all-inclusive vacation, now, and if you got the money to do it, of course, but most people don't have that type of money where they can live in a resort 365 days of the year when they come here. You know what I'm saying? And so when people come and they are looking for that particular lifestyle, what happens is when they get here, reality, punches them in the face, and it's like, oh, this is not what it was when I was visiting, because visiting and living is two different things. And the same way on the flip side, if someone comes here on, say visiting, and they're in these tourist areas, and every time you look around, somebody's trying to, scam them out of some money, or they run into people trying to, scam them for with anything, they leave with the impression that the whole country is like that. Like everybody is looking to scam you. So you're going to be having in your mind, like, you know what, I don't want to move there because everybody is trying to scam you. And that too is far from the truth. That's not the case. Everybody here is not trying to scam you. Regardless of what people say, that's not the truth. I've been here 3 years, I know. So what I recommend people do is try to include videos from people who actually live here with boots on the ground, because their videos about life in DR is a little bit more accurate because they are living it day to day versus someone who's just coming here for a few days and not getting the full experience, just only what they are focused on during that short time. Let me give you a couple examples. One time me and my wife did a video on her channel that was called How Much Money We Spend on Groceries. And we said we spend $300 to $400 a month on groceries. We had this lady jump in the comments that said it's impossible for you to spend $300 or $400 a month, because when I'm there 1, 2, or 3 months, I end up spending $500 a week on groceries. And I'm thinking to myself, number one, how you gonna tell me, us, what we spend on groceries when I know what we spend? Number two, this is the type of person that'll go back and tell this information to other people, and they will believe that if they move to the Dominican Republic, that they're gonna be paying $2,000 a month on groceries, and that is far from the truth. Listen, if you're paying $2,000 a month on groceries here in Dominican Republic, you're absolutely retarded. Let me say it again, you're absolutely retarded. It doesn't cost that much for groceries here in Dominican Republic. Another thing I've heard people say is, oh man, it's loud in Dominican Republic, it's motorcycles all at night in the streets and things like that, and that it's just noisy. And again, that person is correct, but it depends on what neighborhood you live in. I remember when I used to live here back in 2015 and 16, and also when I was traveling back and forth, I was living in Villa Mella. So I know that what he's talking about, because you can live in certain areas and all you hear, even from the time you wake up, motorcycles going up and down the streets and roostering, and or cockadoodle-doodling, whatever you want to call it. You hear that all the time. And I used to think when I came over here to live that that's what I was going to be faced with, and that's far from the truth. Again, that's not what I'm faced with. Where I live at, in our neighborhood, you rarely hear. At night it's quiet, early in the morning it's quiet, especially on Sundays it's quiet. Now, you do hear, noise during rush hour, but that's just typical. You know what I'm saying? That's just typical, but you don't hear a bunch of motorcycles going up and down the street. But, so if this person was to tell people, hey man, don't move over there, it's noisy, it's this, it's that, it's always motorcycles, roosters crowing, he's telling the truth, but he's only telling his experience, because when he came here, those are the neighborhoods he was, living in or going to where that's happening. But I'm telling you, that's not all over Dominican Republic. So that's another example. And here's another one. I had this guy, matter of fact, he left a comment on my channel, and he mentioned that he was here in Santo Domingo, and that Santo Domingo was overrated. He said it was a repetitive city, not much to do, it wasn't walkable. He said it was hot as hell over here, like a sauna. The girls wasn't all that. And he just said so many other things, man. And I just sat there and I laughed at it. The problem with that is that I understood by him saying that he doesn't know the city. So by you not knowing the city, the places you went was repetitive. You were repetitive, not the things to do was repetitive. What you yourself was repetitive because you didn't know where to go. And I understand that. You can come here and it can get overwhelming because there's so much to do and you don't want to go to the wrong places because you already have this. You try to be safe, you're taking precautions, so you just don't want to just be hanging around any place. And I get that. And it's easy for you to go to the same place, like I'm gonna go to Zona Colonial, I'm gonna go to the Malecon. But what about Venezuela? What about Bella Vista, Piantini, Naco, Santo Domingo Norte, Santo Domingo Este, Santo Domingo Oeste, Independencia, Romulo Betancourt, just all these different areas that you can go and have fun. And that's just a handful right there. I just named so many different places that you can go that's not repetitive here in the Dominican Republic. I mean, here in Santo Domingo. So, and another thing that really struck me with that comment was he said that Santo Domingo wasn't walkable, that there were no parks, there were no events. Man, everybody walks in Santo Domingo. How in the world is the city's not walkable? Everybody walks here. Man, you walk outside, everybody walking. And to say there's no parks, man, I've seen more parks here in Santo Domingo than I've ever seen in my entire life. Man, there's parks everywhere in Santo Domingo. And to say there's no events, listen, there's always something going on in Santo Domingo. But that's the type of information that he will go back, or this person will go back and tell somebody else, and it's not really true. It's not true, and that is not true at all. The only thing he got right is that the traffic was crazy and that it was hot as a sauna. He said it was hot as a sauna and that he didn't understand where everybody was going at 1:30 in the afternoon. And I'm gonna tell you, I wanted the same thing. I go out at 1:30 and I'm like, why all these people going at 1:30 in the afternoon? So he did get that right. So I say all this to say is that my living experience here has been 1,000 times better than my visiting experience because I've been able to pace myself, observe, and take my time to take it all in. Now, I'm not in a rush to experience everything in 1 week or 1 weekend or nothing like that. So, and for me, it allows me to have a great appreciation for the country because I'm able to pace myself and enjoy all the things that the country has to offer. I get people always say when they see me in a certain spot, they say, hey man, you need to go here, go to Nagua, go to Harbor Court, go there, go to Barahona. And it's like, I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna get there on my own time. I'm gonna take it all in on my own time and pace myself. And there's nothing wrong with treating Dominican Republic like in the music part. Go enjoy the beaches, the sun, the fun, the people, the culture, the food, and go home. Just understand that your living experience here is gonna be very different than your visiting experience. Paradise doesn't equal perfection. Paradise just means it's paradise, but it doesn't mean it's perfection. There's a lot of other things you got to deal with here. So until the end, y'all already know, always keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. Always live in the present, because that's the only way you're going to live your best life. And I'm out.
Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing,